His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa issued Decree 98 of 2023 appointing ambassadors at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, based on a proposal by the Minister of Foreign Affairs and following the Cabinet's approval. The Royal Decree stipulates the appointment of the following ambassadors at the Ministry: Sheikh Khalifa bin Abdullah bin Hamad Al Khalifa, Basim Ahmed Marzouk, Abdulaziz Mohammed Alid, Ali Jazim Ahmed Al Aradi, Usama Abdullah Al Abisi, Dr. Walid Khalif Al Manam, and Isam Abdulaziz Al Jazim. Her Royal Highness the wife of His Majesty the King and President of the Supreme Council for Women, the SCW, Princess Zabika bint Ibrahim Al Khalifa, received the Minister of Housing, Amna bint Ahmed Al Rumehi. Her Royal Highness welcomed the launch of the second phase of the housing project, Masakin in East Hid, which is dedicated to the fifth category of female housing beneficiaries. Her Royal Highness praised the royal patronage of His Majesty the King, represented by the royal directives to follow up on women's needs and the Bahraini family to ensure them a decent life. Her Royal Highness appreciated the diligent follow-up of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister to implement the directives of His Majesty the King to improve the services provided to the Bahraini family. She indicated that the expansion of the Masakin project comes based on the success of the first phase of the project in Al-Lazi, which was launched in 2016. Her Royal Highness expressed her appreciation for the implementation of the project in all governorates. The SCW President said that the Bahrain is one of the first countries to continue providing quality housing services to male and female citizens. She praised the Cabinet's decision, which stipulated the development of benefit standards for the fifth category with the aim of expanding the beneficiaries of this housing service. Her Royal Highness thanked the Minister and her executive team for their tireless efforts to develop housing services and diversify the options available to Bahraini women. The Minister presented Masakin 2 project, which consists of 4 floors and includes 49 apartments, with areas ranging from 93 square metres to 124.7 square metres, and facilities available in the building, such as shared multi-use halls and others. The Housing Minister affirmed that the project will be completed during the first half of 2025. The first Deputy Chairman of the Supreme Council for Youth and Sports, a Chairman of the General Sports Authority and President of Bahrain Olympic Committee, His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Hamad Al Khalifa, attended the national football team's match against the UAE team in the second round qualifiers for the 2026 World Cup and 2027 Asian Cup. His Highness Sheikh Khalid congratulated the Emirati team for winning the match with the result of 2-0 and wished them the best in the remaining qualifier matches to reach the 2026 World Cup, emphasising the national team's ability to compensate for their loss. His Highness praised Bahraini fans' support for the national team and expressed appreciation for the media's role, praising the Bahraini Football Association's efforts in organising the match. His Highness wished the national team success. The Council of Representatives yesterday held its weekly session, presided over by its Speaker Ahmed Al-Musalem. The Council discussed and approved a draft law on adding a new article to the Civil Service Law issued by Decree Law 48 of 2010. The session also approved a draft law amending Article 1 of Decree Law 10 of 1976 on housing. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, deputised the Deputy Prime Minister, Sheikh Khalid bin Abdullah Al Khalifa, to attend the reception ceremony organised yesterday by the Omani Embassy in Bahrain on the occasion of the 53rd Omani National Day. Upon arrival, the Deputy Prime Minister, accompanied by a number of ministers, was received by Omani Ambassador to Bahrain, Faisal bin Harib bin Hamad Al Busaidi. Sheikh Khalid bin Abdullah conveyed the congratulations of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister to His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq of Oman and Deputy Prime Minister for the Cabinet Affairs of Oman, His Highness Fahad bin Mahmoud Al Said, and to the people of Oman. He stressed the strength of relations between Bahrain and Oman thanks to the support of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa and His Majesty the Sultan of Oman. He noted that the distinguished relations between the two countries and people contributed to strengthening joint work and bilateral cooperation in various fields. Sheikh Khalid bin Abdullah noted the development and civilizational achievements witnessed by Oman and praised its pioneering role in supporting joint Gulf and Arab action, wishing Oman further progress and prosperity under its leadership. Oman's ambassador to Bahrain expressed appreciation to His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister for the keenness and constant interest he attaches to advancing the strong bilateral relations in various fields. The ambassador also expressed appreciation to the Deputy Prime Minister for attending the ceremony, noting the development and progress witnessed by the close bilateral relations at various levels in light of the care of His Majesty the King and His Majesty the Sultan of Oman. Electricity and Water Affairs Minister Yas bin Ibrahim Humaydan participated in the 17th meeting of the Arab Ministerial Water Council, which was held in Riyadh. The minister stressed the importance of continuing to launch initiatives and enhance cooperation among Arab countries to implement development plans related to water. Humaydan explained that integrated management of water resources requires developing national human and technical capabilities and taking into account the need to raise the level of public awareness. He pointed out that Bahrain is keen to support the visions and aspirations of the Council and to participate actively in various projects and initiatives related to the protection of water resources. The minister noted Bahrain's plans and efforts to proactively confront the current challenges through the National Water Strategy. The Bahrain Garden Club held a press conference in coordination with the National Initiative for Agricultural Development in Riyadh to announce the Bahrain Garden Club's preparations to hold a special exhibition for the annual Flower and Vegetable Show competition on March the 3rd to the 6th, 2024. Riyadh Secretary General Sheikh Maram bint Isa Al Khalifa announced changing the periodicity of the Bahrain International Garden Show, which is held under the patronage of His Majesty the King and with the support of Her Royal Highness the wife of His Majesty the King, Riyadh Chairperson of the Advisory Council, Princess Sabika bint Ibrahim Al Khalifa, to be held biennially. She noted that the next show will be held in 2025. The president of the Bahrain Garden Club, Zahra Abdul Malik, expressed her appreciation to His Majesty the King, the honorary president of Bahrain Garden Club, and interest of Her Royal Highness for her support for the club's activities. She also extended her thanks for the great support provided for Riyadh for their efforts to make the annual Flower and Vegetable Show competition a success. The Kingdom of Bahrain welcomes the agreement for a 4-day humanitarian pause in the Gaza Strip, subject to extension. The pause would allow the exchange of a number of hostages and detained women and children and the delivery of humanitarian relief and medical aid, including fuel to Gaza. The Kingdom commends in this regard the joint mediation efforts of Qatar, Egypt and the US. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs urges the international community to intensify diplomatic efforts to reach a permanent ceasefire, the release of all hostages and detainees, and the delivery of humanitarian aid in a complete and sustainable manner. It also calls for rebuilding the affected areas in Gaza and reaching a just and comprehensive peace process to grant the Palestinian people their legitimate rights in establishing their independent state with East Jerusalem as its capital. The Kingdom of Bahrain ranked first in the Gulf in the Basel Anti-Money Laundering and Terrorist Financing Index, which is an annual index that evaluates the level of combating the risks of money laundering and terrorist financing around the world. More in this report.
Numerous accomplishments that the Kingdom of Bahrain continues to achieve reflect its progress with strong determination in establishing the necessary frameworks and measures to effectively combat and prohibit money laundering and terrorist financing operations. The Kingdom of Bahrain ranked first in the Gulf in the Basel Index in this field, confirming its continued commitment to applying the highest standards, laws and decisions to ensure the implementation of all activities within international standards. The Basel Index draws data from 17 sources, including the Financial Action Task Force, Transparency International, the World Bank, and the World Economic Forum. Bahrain, as a member of the GCC, participates in the Financial Action Task Force and is committed to implementing all international recommendations in this field. Bahrain is also a member and founder of the Middle East and North Africa Financial Action Task Force. Bahrain's ranking confirms its international standing in many fields, including efforts to combat money laundering and terrorist financing.
The CEO of the National Space Science Authority, Dr. Mohammed Ibrahim Al-Sayri, affirmed that the Al-Muntha satellite project constitutes an incentive for innovation and supports efforts to raise the levels and outputs of scientific research and use advanced technologies to harness future sciences in the service of comprehensive and sustainable development. He also affirmed that the Bahrain space team is currently working on the qualification and testing phase of the satellite and its payloads. He noted that the completion rate has reached 55% and it is expected to be launched next year. He praised the efforts of the Bahrain space team. While holding the Bahrain Animal Production Show for the past 5 editions, the Kingdom of Bahrain was keen to provide all the necessary support for the goals of the national strategy to achieve food security. More in this report.
The Kingdom of Bahrain continues to promote innovation and development in agricultural and livestock production and securing its sources. The Kingdom has organized specialized exhibitions in the field of food security at the regional level since the 1950s, as the late Sheikh Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa opened the first agricultural exhibition in 1957, which was held in Andalus Park. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa paid considerable attention to preserving the authentic Arab heritage by launching the first edition of the animal production show Mara'i in 2010 under his royal patronage. These exhibitions that are specialized in the agricultural and livestock field embodied Bahrain's vision in preserving the livestock and agricultural wealth, protecting the environment, and contributing to food security, which is considered a major factor within the government plan. The 6th edition of Marai comes with a new look and innovative images by attracting international companies and leading expertise in the field of agricultural and animal production to participate in specialized qualitative exhibitions at the regional level, which highlights the programs and projects that target agriculture and marine and animal development to enhance food security and develop the food industry in Bahrain.
In a groundbreaking move aimed at fostering a more efficient business environment, the Bahrain Chamber of Commerce and Industry inaugurated the Commercial Dispute Settlement Centre. This initiative aims to enhance conflict resolution within the business community, offering a swift and amicable alternative to protracted court proceedings. The newly appointed chairman of the Commercial Dispute Centre, Basim Mohammed Asai, underscored the centre's pivotal role in expediting conflict resolution. Designed to handle conflicts between chamber members or involving third parties, the Commercial Dispute Settlement Centre assumes responsibility for overseeing mediation requests, compiling lists of accredited brokers, and formulating effective dispute settlement procedures. He noted the centre's commitment to addressing minor disputes, especially those amounting to 500,000 BD and below. Aligning with international standards for settlement processes, the centre has already qualified 21 individuals as mediators in the initial phase.